Hey, hi. Today I'm sharing with you 3 SEO essentials to boost visits to your yoga website. So as you start to join, tell me how you are. Let me know how you are. Let me know how you are, where you're watching from. Say hi, guys. I'm talking about SEO today. SEO, what? Yes, it can be a little bit over the head, right? But I'm talking about SEO and I'm going to share with you guys 3 essential SEO strategies. And actually, they're very, very simple strategies that you can do today or this week. And these strategies are going to help you to boost traffic to your website. Okay, so that's what this is about. It's about boosting the number of visitors who land on your website. So hands up if you have a website. Do share with me if you have a website and say hello. We got Rose, we got Abby. Hey Abby, how are you guys? How are you all doing? Athlete Yogi, that's a cool one. We've got Anna. Who else is here? We've got Jacqueline, we've got Catherine, Veronica in the Facebook group. As you start to join, say hi, say hello, say hello, say hello. So it's not enough just to have a website, right? So tell me if you've got a website to begin with, but it's not enough, is it? It's not enough just to have a website. Then what? What happens after that? You know, you've got your website, it goes live. Then what happens? Because there's no point in having a website if no one actually visits it. Okay, do we agree? There's no point. If you've got a website and then you log into Google Analytics and it tells you that nobody's actually visiting your website. We want to change that up. Okay, we want to change that story. We want to do a little bit of work to ensure that people are actually finding us, to ensure that people are actually visiting our website, but also they're staying there. Okay, and that's where SEO comes in. So do you guys know what SEO stands for? SEO, do you know what SEO stands for? So Jacqueline says she's just released her website on the 1st of September. Well done, well done. And Athlete Yogi has a website. Do you guys know what SEO stands for? SEO, okay? SEO, it stands for search engine optimization. But don't let those words kind of put you off. Yes, Rose has got it right. Don't let those words be like, oh, what is that? What does that even mean? Because actually what it means is the process of getting traffic from a search engine like Google, by ranking, by showing up in the search results. Okay, and what happens is Google, so just to kind of explain it, Google sends these little spiders out into the internet. Some of you might have heard me talk about this before. Google sends these little spiders out into the internet and they crawl around and they come to the door of your website. And if there's some fresh content in there, those spiders are going to go through the door, they're going to come into your website and they're going to crawl around and they're going to collect information from your website and they're going to bring that information back outside and they're going to show it up in Google when somebody searches in Google for information that matches what's on your website. Okay, so what it does is that information, that data that it's collecting from your website is essentially keywords. It's collecting keyword data from your website. And when somebody goes into Google and they search for something using those same keywords, then you have an opportunity, your content has an opportunity to show up in those search results. Okay? Tell me if that makes sense to you guys. Does that little kind of analogy make sense to you guys? Because that's essentially what SEO is in a nutshell. SEO is the strategy that you can utilize to show up in those search results. Okay, that's essentially SEO. Yeah, we got a thumbs up. So think about your own behavior. Okay, think about your own search behavior. When you're searching for something in Google, do you tend to scroll past page 1 of the search results? generally we stay in page one, don't we? Generally, we'll pull up the search results that first come up when we search for something. Okay, we usually go for one of the top options, or at least something that's showing on that first page of search results. We don't tend to scroll along to like page 2 or page 3 or so on. And so the higher that your website ranks, okay, the higher that your website shows up, the more traffic or the more people are going to discover you and come to your website. And this does work. Like, it does work when you do it well. Okay, it does work. And from my own experience, direct search is one of the largest traffic drivers to my website. So people searching for things and then finding the results come up. But also for Good Yoga Life, for my other business, I've had retreat bookings from SEO that's working in practice. Okay, so I've had retreat bookings. Most of the people that would book my retreat are people who are in my community. Okay, most of them. But then I did have some people who would come. I had someone come from China, I had someone else come from America, and they came to my Morocco retreat. And when I asked them, how did you find out about this retreat? It was because I was the top result in Google. Okay, they literally searched in Google yoga retreat Morocco, February 2018. Okay, and up came my blog post that I'd written about my yoga retreat. So I got bookings from that. So this stuff does work. And the thing is, we just have to be a little bit mindful, because what we're going to do in order to improve our SEO, we should be doing in our business anyway. Okay, and I'll come on to that in a moment. So it's just about having an awareness. Okay, this isn't an extra thing I'm going to lump onto you guys. Okay, because I know we've got a lot of things that we have to be doing in our yoga business, but it's about having awareness so that when you're doing other things, you're thinking about SEO and how you can improve your SEO on your website. Okay, are we down with this? Give me some feedback, guys. Give me some feedback if this is sounding good. So it does work, okay? But the thing is, it's a bit of a slow burner, and I'll come on to that in a moment. Hello, hey Hannah. But Google has an algorithm, and Google's algorithm is constantly judging your website. Okay, it's constantly giving your website a score. Okay, and if your website's getting traffic, okay, so people are actually finding and visiting your website, okay, and we'll talk about how you can do that in a moment. But if people are doing that, then Google's going to give you some points. Okay, Google's going to give you some points. Google will also give you points if people stay on your website. Okay, so it's not just about the people that are coming to your website, but if people actually stay on your website, okay, so they're landing there and they're spending some time having a look around, you're also going to get some points for that as well, because that's telling Google that the content on your website is engaging enough for people to want to hang out and read the content and learn more. Okay, so there's a host of other things that Google's algorithm will be looking for when it comes to SEO. Okay, and it can feel a bit overwhelming when you look at all of these things that you can do to improve your SEO and improve your ranking. It can feel a bit complicated at times because it relies on so many factors, and there's so many things that you can do to improve the SEO on your website. Okay, and it can also feel a bit invisible because SEO takes time to work. So I mentioned that a moment ago. It's not an overnight thing. Okay, it's not like you make an update to your website and then suddenly the following day you're ranking in the search results. That's not how it works. This is a bit of a slow burner, and it can actually take up to a year for your SEO to improve as a result of consistent action taking. Okay, but that might seem like a very long time for you to be able to get some results from this. However, how long do you plan to be in this business? Tell me. Tell me how long you plan to be a yoga business owner. Tell me in the comments, guys. How long do you plan to be a yoga business owner? Because I'm guessing it's longer than the next year. I'm guessing it's longer than a year, right? Am I right? Am I right? Forever. Yes, exactly. So we've got time, right? So we've got time. So it's definitely worth doing this, okay? It's definitely worth having awareness and thinking about what you can do here on this. So I want to just share with you today, I want to just share three SEO essentials. And actually, these are very simple things, as I said. Yes, lots of forevers, decades. Well done, guys. I knew that. I knew you were here for the long term. So I'm going to share with you three simple strategies that you can start doing today. And the first strategy, and it's something that you might actually already be doing, but now you can think of it with an awareness of SEO, okay? And the first one, it has a positive impact on both attracting visitors, new people to come on your website, and encouraging them to stay, okay? So you're going to get extra brownie points with this one, and it's actually the biggest thing that SEO relies on, okay? Any guesses? Any guesses what it is? Those of you in my program who are watching, you should know this. You should know this one. What does SEO rely on the most? Yes, Leah, yes. Content. Content, okay? It relies on a fresh piece of content on your website every single week, okay? So remember those spiders that I talked about? Google's only going to send those spiders into your website if there is fresh content in your website for them to have a look at. If they come to your website and the last time they came, maybe the week before, there was nothing, there's been no update, those spiders are not going to go into your website, okay? They're going to move on and crawl over to the next website. If there's a fresh piece of content, those spiders are going to come knocking at the door and they're going to be like, oh, there's something new in there for us to look at. They're going to go in, they're going to go to that fresh blog post that you've just written, and they're going to pull all of those juicy keywords from the blog post. They're going to go back into the internet and they're going to serve them up in search results. Okay? So we want to be creative. We want to be creating fresh content. And that fresh content could be a blog post, okay? So that's what some of you have been saying here. That fresh content could be a blog post, okay? It's the easiest thing for you to be creating, to not only add fresh content to your website, but to also now have something to share on social media, to be able to help your students and your community by writing content, creating content that's going to help them with their problems. So many reasons. There's so many reasons why you should be creating blog posts, yeah? Blog posts for your website. But the main thing is that the SEO relies on this good content, on this fresh content that's niche specific, okay? So not general blog posts about just yoga in general, but you want to be writing about topics that your niche, that your ideal student is really interested in, okay? So it always goes back to your ideal student. Always goes back. That's where we need to be starting with anything that we're doing here. When we're thinking about how do we market ourselves, who are you marketing to? It always comes back to that. So you have to be really clear. You have to have real clarity on who you're actually creating all this content for. So when you're writing niche specific content, blog content in this case, you're going to be writing articles about the topics that your ideal student are really interested in, okay? So you need to understand them. What are their challenges? What solutions are they looking for? What are they interested in? What do they want to learn about? What can you inspire them with, okay? And without great content, you really can't build a great business. This content stuff that I'm always piping on about, it should be really non-negotiable part of your business, okay? If I didn't create content, I wouldn't have a business. And if you don't do it as well, you can't leverage the full power of SEO, okay? So if you focus on creating great content that's relevant for your niche every single week, the SEO, the positive impact on your SEO will follow. In time, it will follow. And as I said, you know, SEO takes time to grow and you probably won't see results straight away. And I know that feels a bit crazy, but you just need to trust that it's working. You need to trust that if you're creating content, fresh content every single week for your website, and you're being consistent about this, and it's niche specific content, because that tells Google that you're an expert. That tells Google you're an expert. So if you're doing this and you're being consistent, then the SEO is going to come. Okay, it's going to come. And for those of you that are in my program, for those of you that are students of mine, you know, you're learning how to create content plans. You're learning the process for repurposing your content so that it makes it much easier to create content on a consistent basis. So make sure you've got this in place because it's super, super important. And when you've got content such as a blog post, you know, you can share it on your social media. Like I said before, you can share it with your network. Now you've got something that you can share to drive traffic to your website, okay, to actually drive people to go and visit your website. And if it's niche specific and it's providing solutions for people when they land on your website, well, they're going to stay there and they're going to want to read it, aren't they? So again, that's giving you extra brownie points with Google. Not only that, you know, we've got to think about the bigger picture. What's the bigger picture here is that we are trying to grow our community. And how do we grow our community? We grow our community by getting our ideal students, by converting our ideal students onto our email list. Okay, so you think of it as a funnel. We think of it as a funnel. You know, you're creating your blog post and you're sharing it on social media. So that's the top of the funnel. Then someone's going to click on that blog post. Maybe they discover it inside a Facebook group, which is a niche specific Facebook group. They click on it. Now they land on your website, okay? Because not everybody's going to click on it. Some people will land on your website, and so we move them down the funnel. Now you have an opportunity to move those people onto your email list. Not everyone will do that. Some people will move away, but some people will come onto the email list, so we move them a bit further down the funnel. And now we have an opportunity to create a relationship with them, with these people. So that's the bigger picture here, isn't it? That's the bigger picture. We've got an opportunity to build our list. So many reasons, many reasons why, you know, we want to be creating this fresh content and making it a non-negotiable part of our week, guys. Okay, so just ask yourself first up, am I creating content every week? Do I know what my ideal students want help with? Do I know how I can help them with the content that I'm sharing? Because we don't want to just be meeting our students in a Zoom room. Okay, we have this amazing online space, okay, where I am with you guys now, here on Instagram, here in the Facebook group. We have these amazing digital platforms available to us. We want to be meeting our students here as well, okay? It allows us to stay front of mind, to build the relationship more. So many reasons why we need to be creating this fresh content every week. So really ensure that you spend a little bit of time just asking yourself a few questions and get real with yourself. Am I doing this work? Am I actually doing it? Because there's many benefits, okay? Okay, so let's move on to strategy number 2. And it's it's linked to strategy number 1, okay? And strategy number 2, or essential number 2, and it's something that you can think about when you're creating your content. So all of these things are linked. Is keywords. Okay, when we're thinking of SEO, we want to be thinking of keywords. You can almost think of these like hashtags. If you love being in Instagram, you can think of it in that way. But keywords are the things that those little spiders that I talked about. Those little spiders, when they come into your website, they're going to be pulling that keyword data from your website, okay? And keywords, a keyword is basically a word or a phrase that someone is going to type into a search engine such as Google. Okay, so the smartest way for you to grow your website traffic with SEO is to target or to use specific keywords that you want to show up for in those search results. Okay, shall I say that again? The best way for you to grow your website traffic with SEO is to use specific keywords that you want to show up for, that you want to rank for in the search results. Okay, so you need to be thinking about your ideal student. Think about your ideal student. What keywords are they using? Are they searching for? What keywords are important to your ideal student? So this is where it goes back to understanding what their pain points are, understanding where they are in their journey, understanding their challenges, their struggles. So when it comes to keywords, it's not enough to just have a keyword that's yoga. Okay, we don't want to be using a keyword of yoga on our website. So that's called a short tail keyword. Okay, that's when it's just like one word or even two, it's called a short tail keyword. So yoga is a short tail keyword. Okay, and guess what happens when you type yoga into Google? What happens when you search for yoga in Google? How many results come up? How many results come up? Millions, probably. Millions. It's so generic. It's so generic, isn't it? So millions, exactly. Millions and millions of results. So long tail keywords refer to keywords with several words. And this is the most common type of keyword that people are using when they search. Okay, usually they're saying, how can I relieve my lower back pain with yoga? What yoga poses are best for the third trimester of pregnancy? Okay, so they're searching like sentences, sentences. That's a long tail keyword. So that's going to get much more specific results. You're going to get much more specific results. And that's why we need a niche, guys. That's another reason. I mean, I swear there must be like 101 reasons why you need a niche, probably more. But this is why, when we get more targeted with our messaging, we can reach the right people. We can reach the right people, because you are never ever going to show up on the first page of Google when somebody types in yoga. It's never going to happen. But if you are thinking about a long tail keyword and being really specific, and then you've got a blog post that's about that long tail keyword, about the thing that somebody's searching, your ideal student, what they're searching in Google, and you've got a blog post, you've got more chance of showing up in those search results. Does this make sense? I know it's quite a complicated concept, excuse me. I know it's quite a complicated concept concept to get our heads around, SEO. Ooh, it's really over the head one, isn't it? So hopefully I'm trying to explain it nice and easy for you guys today. So long tail keywords. So you want to be thinking about this, and as I said, this is why your niche matters, because you want to be targeting like you don't want to be targeting super general keywords, okay, that have millions and millions of results. So understanding your student is key, knowing what their struggles and pain points are, so that you can really kind of identify what they're going to be searching for. And then there's online tools. So just search keyword tools and in Google, and you can put some of your keywords in there, your long tail keywords, and these tools will come up with suggestions of other long tail keywords that people search. So you can do a little bit of research on this. If you want to get a bit further, if you want to get a bit geeky with it, you don't have to, okay? You don't have to do that. The most important thing is that you are creating fresh content every week for your students that's going to be niche specific. And when you create that fresh content, you're thinking, okay, this is where we have to have this awareness. We're thinking about what the keyword would be. What would the long tail keyword be for this that somebody would search in order to land on this blog post? Okay, so just keep it simple, simplify it. And you know, once you worked out what your long tail keyword is, and it's quite likely that the long tail keyword will be the title of your article, okay? And when you're in WordPress or you're in Squarespace or whatever system you're using, there's several places where you can put this long tail keyword in the back end of your website, okay? So that it recognizes, so that Google recognizes that that's your long tail keyword. And you'll need to use it multiple times in the article as well, okay? So that when those spiders come in, they see that this blog article is about this long tail keyword, okay? That long tail keyword has been used X number of times. This is the content that needs to show up in search results when somebody types those words in and somebody searches for that thing. Does that make sense? Okay, yeah, so Hannah says that's really helpful because I think the word in long tail keyword is confusing. Exactly, we think it's just one word, but it's not. Just think, what would someone search in Google for this? That's the long tail keyword, okay? And it's usually how to do this or what do I need for this? It's basically about solving a problem, okay? If you always be thinking about how is your content helping to solve a problem, then you're on the right track, okay? Okay, so strategy number 3. Yes, good stuff, guys. You're with me. So number three. Strategy number 3, and this particular one is about, it is particularly about encouraging people to stay on your website. So remember at the beginning I said Google's looking for, it's going to give you points if people are coming to your website, if you've got traffic. It's also going to give you some brownie points if people are staying on your website, because that's telling Google, hey, this is a good website, the user experience is really good and it's friendly and the content here is really engaging and it's niche specific and it's exactly what I was looking for. So it's when people stay on your website, and remember, Google is a massive data bank, so they have all this information about your website, how long people stay on it and so on. So this particular strategy, and it's a super simple one. It's so simple that each and every one of you watching me today, you could do this today, okay? It's so simple. This strategy is about encouraging people to stay on your website. So I want to go back to your own behavior, okay? Your own behavior is always an amazing indication of what other people do as well, okay? So think about your own behavior here. You're searching for something. Let's say that you are just beginning with your yoga practice, okay? Let's say you've been thinking about it for a while, and so you're a beginner, and let's say you've never been to a yoga class before, but everyone keeps piping on about it and you're like, oh, what's this yoga malarkey? Maybe it can help me. Maybe I should give it a go. It might help me with my back issues and so on. So you've been thinking about it for a while and you're like, okay, I'm going to see if I can find a class close to me. So off I go into Google, and in the search I'm typing in beginner yoga classes, East London. Beginner yoga classes near me, East London, okay? And a number of results are going to come up. And what do you do now? You if you're like me, I kind of click on it and open up the tabs. So probably open up the first 3 or 4 tabs that come up at the top of the search results. And then I'm going to quickly look at each of those tabs, okay? So I'm going to go to the first one, and my first impression will tell me whether this is, the right website for me. Has it got the right information that I'm looking for? Because I'm looking for beginner yoga classes. Okay, remember, this is about me right now as the potential customer. And no, it doesn't look like there's anything there about beginner yoga classes. Quickly move on to the next one. No, this one doesn't look right either. Quickly move on to the next one. And this one says right at the top, thinking of getting onto the mat. Think you need to be flexible. Watch my quick 5-minute video where I'll explain to you exactly what you need to know about your first yoga class. Oh, this looks like me. Yeah, I thought I had to be flexible to go to yoga. That was the thing that's been putting me off for ages because I can't reach my toes. Yeah, so you see where I'm going with this? Do you see where I'm going with this? So always think about your own behavior and how you search online. So what was the difference with that? What was the difference? Anyone want to tell me? What was the difference there? What made me stay? What made me stay on that website and look around? What made me stay, guys? What made me stay? Well, it was talking about my journey, wasn't it? It was talking about me as the potential student. Yeah, the website spoke to my issues, exactly. This yoga teacher knows who I am. This yoga teacher knows who she's speaking to, or he or she is speaking to, okay? So this yoga teacher is solving a specific problem. Yes, Caitlin? Yeah, exactly. Nami, if I got that right, Nami, she said if it had the topic you were looking for as the first thing being shown. Exactly. It made me stay because of that. And you have like 3 seconds, less than 3 seconds to make an impression on your ideal student. So all of you now watching me now, tell me, your homepage, at the very, very top of your homepage on that hero image, is the information that you're sharing there, is it about you as the yoga teacher? Okay, is it about you as the yoga teacher, telling them what an amazing yoga teacher you are and how you're qualified and so on and what you teach? Or is it about your ideal student? Who is it about? Because you have to make that first top part of your website about your ideal student. Excuse me. You need to make it about them. Okay, it needs to be about them, because people are only interested in themselves. When they're searching for something online, they're searching for an answer, a solution to the problem that they have. Okay, so they're searching for a solution. And, you know, you don't need to write too much here. Just think of like the main thing. Excuse me, I've got a real frog in my throat now. Think about the main thing that's going to capture their attention, okay? The main pain point or the main desire, you know, want to learn yoga, even as something as simple as that. Finally decided you want to get on the mat, you know, it can be something super simple, but big and bold to capture their attention. And once you've captured their attention, then they're going to stay, okay? Because if they're searching erratically, as we do, okay, because none of us have time for this, we want the answers straight away, don't we? But if they're searching and you have a big bold statement that makes them stop their search, then they're going to scroll down. And then when they scroll down, you can tell them a little bit more about themselves, okay, and what they're experiencing right now. Paint the picture of the desire that they want, that they're looking for, okay? And, you know, if they like what they're reading, then they're going to go to your about page where they can learn about you, okay? Or maybe they'll scroll a bit further down and learn a bit more about you. But only at that point. They don't need to know about you. They're not interested in you. They're really not. They're really not. When they're looking for stuff online, they're interested in themselves, okay? They're having a conversation in their head. Oh God, what to expect? What's going to happen at my first yoga class? What do I have to wear? Do I have to be flexible? Do I have to be this? Do I have to be that? That's what's going on in their head, okay? And you have to join that conversation that they're having in their head. And if you do that, if you get that right, then people are going to stay on your website, okay, and they're going to look around. Otherwise, they're going to bounce, okay? So in Google Analytics, you have what's called the bounce rate, okay? And this is a number. And if it says 70%, then it means that 70% of people who land on your website leave, okay? 70%. And if you think that the goal of your website is to grow your email list, okay, because it is, that's the goal of your website, is to grow your email list, then we don't want that 70% to be leaving, do we? We want that 70%, if they're ideal students of ours, to stay, okay? And we can ensure that that happens if so going back to number one strategy that I shared today, if we're creating niche specific content, okay, so we're creating these amazing blog posts that allow us to repurpose our content, that allow us to create posts for Instagram and social media that talks about the things that we'd shared in the blog post and directs people to that blog post on our websites. We do all of these things. If we show up in our stories and we're directing people to our website to go and read more, to find out more, then we're driving people to our website where we can start that relationship with them, okay? So your niche, really important, understanding who your ideal student is. And then once you've got that, you can start creating your content, you can start using the keywords that they're searching for, and you can make your homepage about that person as well, okay? So I hope that has been helpful for you guys today. 3 simple strategies. Before we go, I'll set you a little challenge, I think. Let's set you a little challenge. Let's make this actionable. And I think we'll just focus on strategy number 3. Okay, so for those of you on Instagram, I want you to come over to the main Facebook group. Okay, the main Facebook group. If you go to the link in our bio here, you'll get the link to the Facebook group. And I want you to do a before and after, okay? So take a screenshot of your homepage, the before, okay? And then change the wording, add that big bold statement or sentence or question or whatever it is that's going to speak to your ideal student. And then take another screenshot and share both of those images together in a post inside our Facebook group so we can give you some high five love, okay? And congratulate you on that win, because that's a big win. That's a big win. If you make that change today, that's a big win. It means that, you know, when people come to your website's going to actually start working for you. It's going to be speaking to the right people. And if you guys in Facebook, you guys who are watching in the Facebook group right now, I want you guys to do the same. If you're on the replay on IGTV or in the group, please do the same. Let's support each other with this. It's a super little challenge that all of you can do. If you've got a website and you're not doing this already, you can definitely do this. So look, come over into the group, share your progress, and yeah, that's it from me, guys, I think. Okay, cool. So, oh yes, before I go, starting from this week, I'm going to be doing a hot seat session on Friday. So every single Friday. It's happening on Instagram, so not in the Facebook group. So those of you that usually watch these trainings in the Facebook group, make sure you come and join on Instagram. And it's basically a Q&A. So from today or tomorrow, you'll have an opportunity in our stories to ask any questions that you've got, okay? To ask any questions you've got. I'll answer some of these questions, and then I'll invite a couple of you to come into the live with me, and you can ask me your question and we can talk through it, okay? So it's a little bit of a kind of hot seat coaching session that I'm going to be doing. It's free coaching basically, guys, so make sure you join me. 2 p.m. UK time, starts this Friday. I'm going to be doing this every single Friday, and yeah, I hope to see you there. So thank you everybody for being here. Naomi, we've got Hannah, hey guys, Caitlin, Hello, Moon Wandering. Hello. Well done, guys. Thank you for being here. And for you guys in the Facebook group as well. You're all awesome. And I'll see you guys soon. All right, take care. Have a beautiful day. Bye.